What about somebody in the media? I think, your piece specifically cites Jennifer Welch. I don't think anybody expects her to actually. I think she's in the right place. And I think she understands she's in the right place behind a microphone, not on a ballot. But what about somebody like a Jon Stewart?
So I'm slightly hesitant because I think we kind of have an example of what that looks like, and the example is Trump. And I think that what you run the risk there, if you take somebody who is a media figure, I think that they could very much win. I think Jon Stewart could become president. If he ran a good campaign, he would become president. I think the problem is in politics, you need a very specific skill set to actually implement policy. And that's very, very, very difficult. And I think people in media oftentimes don't have that because you need to have an organizational capacity and you need to have a certain ability to rule streak at times. And I think this is true even of people who are great politicians. When you read about FDR, when you read about LBJ, they were unsentimental about what human beings are like. And I think that's difficult for people who are in media to imagine because people in media oftentimes think the way you put something in the media, the way you discuss, the way you talk is everything, but it's not. You also need just a kind of ability to bend people to your will. And that behind the scenes looks different from what it looks like on camera. And you also need that behind the scenes ability. You
Yeah.
can't transform a country like the United States without that. And I think having somebody like Jon Stewart run would be great, and you should try it. But I would prefer somebody who actually is a politician over somebody who's a media figure, because I think you can just look at Trump, and Trump is just absolutely horrid at actually implementing his agenda.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
is
going to
good.
throw, it is good. Part of the reason you see so many executive actions is because that's what leaders who can't pass legislation do, is they just issue these executive orders.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw something out there. I have a bias because I grew up in Minneapolis and he was my representative, but I low-key think Keith Ellison could be, because he's a genuine progressive.